Welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. And before we get to our guest today, we have a big shout out for Living Sisu. Living Sisu is a platform and app that wants to give you all the tools to have success in your sport. Their main objective is to activate your lifestyle. So it's for active people. Enjoy discounts at companies like BioSteel, 30% off, Body Logics, the Goalie Guild. All his books are discounted. Roan, Lululemon for men, 20% off. Online stretching programs with Eccentrics, 1 full month free. They got super silent massage guns, 20% off those. And it's a great quality. It's way less expensive than a Theragun, and it's great quality. So there's so many more discounts that you guys will need to just become a member to see. So they want to provide you with anything you need for success. So come join the community. I'm a part of it. A bunch of other athletes are a part of it. So it's free to join. It takes 20 seconds to get exclusive offers to your sport, and it's definitely worth it. So do us a huge favor and go sign up for Living Sisu's membership. It's free, takes 20 seconds. So go do it, and we'll see you there. Living Sisu is a great company. We know one of the co-founders, Zach Fricali. He's a great guy. He's the co-founder. He does a lot of live streams on Instagram at Living Sisu, with a bunch of elite athletes, and you learn a lot from like the athletes' determination, their resiliency, everything to what made them become successful. So it's been a great experience so far. So go on. I'm gonna leave the link in the description. So go sign up. Welcome back to another episode of On the Spot Sports. I'm Jack, and in today's episode, we are joined by a very special guest, current professional goaltender, Cedric Andre. Cedric is a current professional hockey goaltender in the East Coast Hockey League with the South Carolina Stingrays. He played this past season with the Belleville Senators in the American Hockey League, appearing in 2 games. He played junior hockey at the Ontario Hockey League with the Ottawa 67s, along with playing prep hockey at the Gunnery before turning pro. So this is going to be a really fun episode. So welcome to the show, Cedric Andre.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks a lot for having me, Jack.
Yeah, no problem. It's good to get you on. It's been a while, but it's good that we finally found some time out of our busy schedules.
Right? Both of us. We've been trying to get this together for so long.
Yeah, there'd be like one day where you couldn't, and then the next day, like we tried planning something, I couldn't do it. Like it was a mess.
It was wild. Hey, we got it done though.
Yeah, exactly. But how have you been? You're in Hershey right now for the Bears training camp. So like, how's everything going with that?
Yeah, everything's going pretty good. We had our first day today, workout, and just a practice. So it's good. You know, all the guys are getting in town. It's been so long. You know, the off season was a long one, and now we got back to full team practices. Kind of stuff's getting going, getting a little bit of rust off, but it's fun to be at the American League level again and just getting the season going, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, what was like this off season like, and just like being able to train and stay in shape, especially like when you don't get to play those games that often, and then you go into an off season where it's like 3 months and that you don't play a game.
Yeah, it was long, especially as soon as the season in Belleville ended. I know Ontario was still in a pretty strict lockdown because of COVID, so we didn't have a lot of ice for probably a good 2-3 weeks. It was hard to find ice. You know, first it was only pro guys, so I was able to get out, you know, you find ice times here and there. Then as the summer went on, you got to find a lot more ice, and it was good, you know.
Yeah, for sure. So like, do you just focus on skating during that time, or you get in the gym as well and just like try to like split it half and half?
Training was about like 5 days a week, you know, Monday through Friday. And then maybe Wednesday was kind of like a stretch rehab day, and then try to get on the ice at least same thing once a day, Monday through Friday. Probably 1 or 2 goalie sessions a week, and then a couple skills sessions on. I know Friday or Wednesday we always had like we'd put together a good group. There's a good scrimmage with a ref out there, like a pro group, all NHL, AHL, East Coast guys, so, and some top level OHL guys. So it was fun. I mean, we got some scrimmages in, but it's still not the same thing than a real game, right?
Yeah, but at least like it's somewhat of a game action. Like it's not like the actual game, but like you're getting like the reps in that you would in like an actual game, and like that definitely helps the summer skates go by a lot faster, and it's a lot more fun that way.
Yeah, for sure.
So I want to get into this season a little bit here. So before we do that, can you give like our viewers like a little background information on you, like when you started playing hockey, teams you played on, like why you became a goaltender?
Well, I started playing hockey, I think in novice. Started a little later, no IP, and I went from always went up one level growing up. It was novice C, then B, then A, and then it went to Rep B, and then A, competitive, and then double A. I stayed at double A for 2 years though. I simmered there. I'm like, I was having a good time. No, I just got cut from the triple A team, but still. Then the next year I made the triple A team. Finally, my first year highest level hockey was Major Bantam. Yeah, that was my first year making like the highest level team, and then that was my junior A draft where I got drafted, played U18, and then from there I got drafted to the OHL late pick, 12th round. Didn't think I was going to go to the OHL, so I decided to go prep school. I mean, it was a good spot, the gunnery, and honestly, I didn't think I was going to go to the OHL. Like I said, I was a 12th round pick. What 12th round pick makes it, right? 232. I'm not going there. So I went to the gunnery to go look at schools, toured a couple schools, and then I was talking to a lot of schools, but I hadn't gotten an offer. And then I got an offer from the OHL. So I'm like, I was basically not a patient guy. So it was basically first come, first serve. First offer, like, so OHL, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll sign it. I signed it right away. And then went there. Wasn't supposed to make the team my first year trying out. They were planning to cut me, but they liked me so much in camp. I did good where they're like, okay, we don't have a choice. So that kind of sucked because I was third string for the first half of the year. It was fun. I made the team, but I didn't play a game the first half of the season. My first ever game, 11-7, got shredded.
Oh,
yeah. That
was what a start.
I know, right? Against the worst place team in the league, too.
that makes it 10 times better.
I know, right? So then my next one I won against the first place team in the league, but still doesn't matter. And we sucked. So, but yeah, no, that was and then I wasn't supposed to make it. My numbers, my first year in the OHL were an 858 and like a 4-point set. Like I was supposed to get cut the next year. They were going to order my gear. Showed up to camp, got like 3 shutouts in exhibition games, and then I won goalie of the month, the first month of the year in the OHL. And this is when they were still talking about trading again. And finally, they ordered my gear after that. Like, okay, we got like, I guess he's staying here for the season. We don't really have a choice. So yeah, and then from there, I kind of started a lot that year, and then I started the year after that, and then obviously COVID kind of ruined my overager season, but it was good. I mean, at least I got the opportunity to feel what pro hockey was like. Although I was just on an ATO all year, the tryout agreement. Got to be with Belleville, travel to like Calgary, Manitoba, do all the things and be in the pro environment. You know, it's definitely different than amateur hockey, right? Than OHL. So it was good. And now here I am, technically for my. See, I don't know if this is my first pro season or last year was my first pro season. I don't really count last year though.
This will probably be considered like your first like official pro season.
Yeah, like I think this is technically my first pro season because last year I was like. But I should have been playing my overager season in the OHL, which is kind of what makes it funny. But yeah. So yeah, going my first year playing pro hockey, I guess, this year. That's where we are.
Yeah, that's you go from being a 12th rounder in the OHL to finding your way onto an OHL team where you start off as a third string, work your way up, supposed to get cut, doesn't get cut, makes the team, have them order your gear. And then you find yourself in Belleville. It's like, I want to get into Belleville a little bit here. It's like you spent this past season in the American League with the Belleville Senators, like we've said, where you appeared in 2 games during that stretch. So like, what was this season like for you personally, and just like feeling it out in pro hockey and like the challenges that you guys had to face around like the COVID season?
Yeah, it was definitely a weird season. I mean, I was just hoping the whole time, like, we were kept on looking OHL if it's going to start. Then finally my agent said, okay, you got an ATO there. I had a couple ATOs for a couple different American League teams in the league. But Belleville was right at home, right? So I was going to stay at home. Yeah. They were playing out of the Canadian Tire Center in Ottawa. So I'm like, okay, I'll stay there. And it ended up working out. I got 2 games because a lot of injuries. But it was weird showing up every morning, getting the COVID test all the way up the nose. It was the brain one every morning. First thing when you show up to the rink, I was like, come on. At least let me wake up, right?
Yeah,
but no, it was definitely weird. I mean, we were playing out of the NHL rinks, which was pretty sick. I mean, except for Manitoba. That one was not the NHL rink. but like Canadian Tire Center, the Bell Center, all those rinks. And then yeah, but it was pretty sick. It was pretty cool my first year. I mean, normally first year pro AHL and East Coast Hockey League, you take you just take commercial flights, but because of COVID, we couldn't. So we're taking like the Sens private jet to all the games, like just walk on, like the huge lazy boy seats. So I mean, if I had 1 year to be on an ATO or whatever in the American, like it was the year to do it. We got treated really well. I got to order new gear, and the fact that I even got games is pretty awesome. But yeah, it was also some hard times, because obviously you don't want to not play. You want to play as a goalie.
Yeah.
It was tough, and I felt like I could definitely play at that level over maybe some other guys and stuff like that. But I'm not a prospector. I'm not going to get the opportunities, and that's why I'm excited this year. I mean, I'm part of the organization. I'm signed there, so I'm excited to actually get the chance to play.
Yeah, for sure. And like you're treated like royalty on an ATO deal. Like that's not bad.
Exactly.
Just living life like an NHL player.
Exactly. Living like an NHL player on an ATO. Not getting the pay of an NHL player though, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like throughout like the season, like what was it like where you could play a game one day and then have the game be canceled the next day, and like just having to face that struggle throughout the season, just not knowing like if that game's going to be played or like replayed or like anything like that?
Well, no, I think our schedule was pretty good because every team in the league, it was a Canadian division. Every team was getting tested in the morning. So I think only 1 or 2 games got canceled and they got added on at the end of the week because one guy in Toronto tested positive. But apart from that, it was every team was pretty strict. Everything was solid and just everything went through as normal. We had our schedule and that's kind of what happened. And it was, to be honest, they did it really well. They set it up well. I mean, COVID test every morning was super professional and kind of, I guess that's how we ended up playing games.
Yeah, at least that's good that you only got like 1 or 2 games canceled and not like stretch where like 2 weeks some teams didn't play.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. It was well organized for sure.
Yeah, that's at least good. So like when you did get that game in, like your first pro game, I guess you could say, like what was it like getting to play in that game for the first time in 10 months since the season prior got canceled, and then just having it be your first pro game?
Well, I mean, normally I get really nervous before games, especially my first OHL game. I was kind of like freaking out, but this one I was, I think I was more, it was kind of a good thing. I wasn't as nervous. I was more excited to finally be able to play a game. It had been so long. I was like, let's go. This is pretty sick. Like I was so excited to actually play a game. I'm like, I like, you have no idea. I was like, this is awesome. Like I get to play a game. And it was at the Bell Center too, like crazy rank, like Montreal's rank. So I'm like, okay, like just the excitement was there. I'm like, it's exciting that I finally get an opportunity to play a game. And yeah, I didn't get the result I wanted, but didn't play too bad. There was one goal I wanted back. It was, I think, 3 on 24, and I hadn't played a game in over 10 months. So I think I wasn't thrilled, but I'm not like super upset with what happened. But it was fun to actually get a game in the American League. Like if I quit hockey tomorrow, I can be like, at least I got a game in the American League. I'm retire kind of happy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And just like you got that game, and here you are signing in the coast with South Carolina this year. But like what were your emotions like running through, or like I know you were excited, but like what was it like making that first save and just settling in the game during that time?
Felt so good. I think the first play I actually made was I stopped the puck behind the net and just turned it right over to the other team. I was like, oh, it's going to be a long one, but I was so nervous. It was such a bad play the first time I touched the puck. And then after that, when I got my first whistle, I'm like, okay, this is nice. I'm a big first whistle guy. Like I got to get the first whistle before a goal goes. That makes me feel good. But yeah, and then the first goal I let in the first play, nothing I could have done. I got absolutely ran in my crease. I'm like, it's the way she goes. So really I let in 2 on 24. It's not bad. Over 900, but still, I was nervous. I just wanted that first whistle so bad. And when I got it, I felt good. But that puck play kind of stressed me out a lot early on.
Yeah, at least you didn't turn it over right in the slot and he has an open net, wide open.
Right. Oh, he did have an open net, but I think our D stopped it. But overall, as long as it didn't go in the back of the net, right? That's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. And throughout that game, like just getting that first whistle, like you said, must have just settled everything down. And you're like, all right, time to play my game and just stop the puck.
Exactly. At the beginning, I was kind of like, before the game, I had to remember like all my pregame routines that I did. I was trying to write them like, what do I do again? It's been so long. I'm like, I gotta have some stuff that I do during the game. And I was like, as the game was going on, I'm like, oh my God, I remember I do this. I do this too. I'm like, this is sick. Like, I was starting to catch on. I'm like, I just kept on feeling better and better as the game went on, it was exciting. I mean, I was finally getting under my groove again. Like I was getting my groove back. I was starting to feel good. I'm like, okay, this is what it's like to play. It's been so long. So the more we played, the better it got.
Yeah, exactly. So like what are some of those pregame routines that you had you incorporate back into your game after not playing for a while?
I have a bunch of little things. Like I'm not a goalie. I like to chat and talk before the game, kind of like I don't consider myself a goalie, but I have a bunch of little things that like people won't notice unless I tell them. And like obviously whistles, I like to keep my crease clean, corners. I do like a little head thing. I have a bunch of little things that like no one would notice, except like so many little ticks that I feel like keep me in the game are kind of like hidden. So I don't look like a goalie. I just talk to everyone, but it's like when I cross doorways, I do something. When I do it's like it's pretty legitimate, but no one knows about it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny because it separates you from like the stereotypical goalie where it's like you're Mr. Serious at the you're not talking to anyone.
I like to chat, go around, float around. Except they don't notice that I have
keeping
all
it
my
loose.
little things. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I have some of those where like I like talking to the boys, getting the boys going, and then like after every whistle, I have to like hit my chest with my glove and just little things like that to keep you in the game.
Like the Wolf of Wall Street, eh?
Yeah, exactly.
You do that. Ah!
I do not.
Come on, you gotta have that in there.
I gotta incorporate it next time I get on the ice.
Next time, think of me and just go. Oh!
I'll
You've seen that movie, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I've seen it like 4 times, so it's a good movie.
Great movie.
Yeah, exactly. So throughout the season, like you faced a lot of ups and downs, especially like throughout that COVID year where you only played in 2 games. Like, what do you do to battle and overcome those obstacles that you had to face?
I mean, at the end of the day, I sucked at hockey most of my life growing up. I never really played high level. So, I mean, I'm a 5'10" goalie too. So I found it pretty cool that I was getting paid to play hockey last year. And even now, I'm like my job is to go work out and to go play a game. So I'm like, okay, I'm laughing. All my other friends are in school or working at like Timmy's stuff. I'm like, I'm laughing. I like what I'm doing. So, I mean, I could have it a lot worse. I just love what I'm doing. It makes it pretty easy, even if I'm not playing games. Obviously, a competitor, it sucks. Like you want to be able to win games and do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, as long as I'm playing hockey and I'm having a good time and I'm not completely broke, then I'm happy.
And then we're buzzing.
Yeah, exactly. We're winning.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny that you mentioned you're 5'10". I'm 5'10". You're 21 as well. I saw, and your birthday's actually a week after mine. So like
nice.
all those little things.
Yeah.
That it's funny though to think about when you're my youngest guest that I've interviewed as well. So
really, yeah.
And like you're my age, so it's crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah, exactly. It's like what do you like think of, or what do you think about like since like Ottawa's crease and like their system was really like backlogged, like they had like 3 goalies in the NHL, like 2 or 3 on contract for NHL deals in Belleville, and then like they also have like some coast guys that are on deals. Like just having that crease be like really crowded, like what was it like being in that Ottawa system?
It was tough because I felt like I was doing really good in practice, like day in, day out. And I was kind of hoping. I mean, even the assistant GM said he really liked me. Like everyone loved me there, but I just obviously when there's prospects there, you're gonna give the prospects a chance. Like I don't blame them. It's the way it is. And now that I'm in South Carolina, then I'll get the chances here over someone who's not, right? It's just the way it works, but it's tough sometimes to see when like, okay, like not saying I'm better or worse, but I'm just saying, when you're putting the effort day in, day out and you think you're there and you think you're ready to play and you're just not getting the opportunity. That's like really tough sometimes and it sucks, but at the end of the day, it's their jobs on the line too. These prospects got to work out, like stuff like that. So you got to look at it both angles, right? And I don't blame them. It's a business at this point, right? You're no longer playing minor hockey. It's the way it goes. And obviously, I'm just happy to be somewhere now where I'm going to get an opportunity to play. I'm not blaming anyone again. I'm not saying I'm better than anyone. I'm just saying it's pro hockey, right? Guys are going to get chances, more chances than other guys. If guys play well, they get more. It's just like Solgaard played great. Gustafson played great. So you're going to keep on playing the guys that play great, right? It's a business at this point. Your prospects are going to get chances while other guys don't get chances.
Yeah, exactly. But that changes this year because you're on a coast deal with South Carolina, so you'll get that refresh that you want and like an opportunity to play a ton of games, hopefully.
Exactly. I'm just looking for an opportunity to play games. When you have a full season with no numbers to your name, nothing to prove for, it's hard getting deals places. But if I play a full season this year, get some games, and you have numbers to your name, you have some proof to not just your agent saying, yeah, he's actually good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he's okay. Well, obviously you're his agent. Like, buddy, get it together. Yeah. Every agent's going to say that about their player. Right. So obviously it's good to play games because you can't lie. Actions don't lie, right? You play well, play well. You suck, you suck. If you don't play well in games, then you're done.
Yeah, all about performance.
Exactly. Yeah. No one cares about in practice. You gotta play well in games. You gotta win games at the end of the day.
There's a bunch of practice guys, but once game comes around, like they don't perform well, like that they're done. They're getting released right there.
Yeah, exactly right. So that's just what it is. It'll be fun to play games. It's been so long and actually have meaning to the games.
Yeah, absolutely. So like throughout like last season, like what were some of your favorite memories from the very odd season?
Obviously playing games and, just the guys. It was a good room. Getting my new gear. Oh, so when you get pro gear and it gets sized, it's signed by like Clay Whitmore. So I don't know, KW. That was pretty cool getting gear signed with his stuff. I'm like, sick. I'm a big deal now.
I'm kind of a big deal right now.
Yeah, kind of a big deal. Not really though, but that's what I told myself. But still, no, it's that was cool. I mean, being in the Sens locker room, we're in the Sens. The private jet, that was sick.
Cool. Yeah.
That was sick. Yeah, that was one of the top moments
first
for
class.
sure. Yeah, we flew on a plane in the playoffs with the 6-7s, but that was just a small plane. But like an actual nice jet, the one like the Sens, I'm like sick.
Yeah, it's all about gaining that confidence from anything that you can think of, like getting that gear, like the plane rides, Sens locker room, like anything to get you going.
Yeah,
get that
no,
confidence
I felt like I was in the big leagues, even though I was just an AT on an AHL team, but still.
That's still pretty sick.
Yeah, the goalie coach there was sick, and just being able to play with that quality of players, right? All these guys are basically signed to NHL contracts. And although I wasn't playing this season in the OHL, I was on an AHL team for the season. I was learning a lot. And and obviously there was a lot of injuries in the Sens system, so it got me some chances to play a lot in practice. And so turned out being a good experience.
Yeah. So like what were some of those things that you learned throughout that year in the AHL? Because even if you're not playing, like you're learning constantly at practice, like just looking at the guys that are actually playing. Like what were some of the things you learned from that season?
Well, one of the things the goalie coach worked with me a lot is expanding my size. I bring my gloves down and I'll bring them up a bit. And obviously in practice, another big thing was every guy can score at that level. It's not like just the top guys. In the OHL, your first line, maybe second line can score. And the other guys are either young and they'll be coming up and they'll be really good soon. And the other guys are just going to school. But it's at that level, all those guys are signed to NHL contracts. They're all the guys that were the best in the OHL or were the best in college. So like in the OHL, okay, like this guy can't really shoot. You just stay back and you make the save. But there, you got to be ready all the time. It's every guy can shoot, every guy can score, and you got to be ready for that. That was the main difference. It's not like the first line, fourth line. It's like fourth line can still rip it on you. Doesn't really make a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not safe out there. Like anyone can score and anyone can make a play to make an unreal play that ends up in the back of your net somehow. Like you just can't do that.
I felt that was the biggest difference for sure. It's okay. It's like, okay, well, I can't really take time. Like every guy.
Yeah, exactly. So as a 5'10" goaltender, like what have been some of the things that you've had to do to like you said, like bring your gloves out and like up more. So like what were some of the other things? Cause like do you have to like challenge a lot more than
I think I
bigger goalies, obviously.
I think I challenge a lot. I work on my speed. I think I'm a good skater and obviously try to communicate a lot in nets and just have good awareness or not like just knowing around me, like I play the percentages pass, like what are the options that are open and just knowing what's out there, what's going to happen before it happens. Right. I think I like to play a lot like that personally, just kind of reading the play, knowing what the options are. And obviously I still try every day. Goalie coach is working with me now on expanding my size and maybe not having as much depth in Hershey. Thinks I get a little too far out, which I agree with him sometimes on bad angles. A little too aggressive. I don't need to, but I think I need to because of my size. But at that angle, he's got nothing. I'm just wasting my time being so far out. And so obviously there's still a lot to work on, but I think speed, tracking, and awareness are probably places where I've had to make up.
Yeah. So like how important is skating? Because you have to be very good on your feet, especially as a smaller goaltender. And like you have to like play those like 45-degree angles a lot and just that depth control. Like you gotta gain more depth, like you said, and like maybe not too much, but just enough to make that save and be able to read and just get over to make a butterfly slide to the post or something like that.
Yeah. No, I know I used to work on my skating a lot. Every goalie session was like 30-minute skating and 30-minute shots. I used to love skating though. I'd sleep at the rink. They'd let me sleep there at the goalie rink and I just wake up by myself, go for a 6 a.m. skate. Really no pucks for an hour and I just do skating. I loved it.
So what would you do for what kind of skating drills would you incorporate in your practice?
A bit of everything. Edges, crease skating, sometimes really just cutting around pucks, C cuts. I try to make my edges like really strong. I use 3/8 on my skate sharpening. Sometimes I go to 1/4 inch if I find I'm slipping a bit, but I like to get my skates really sharp. I like to be crisp and fast, but I basically did a bit of everything, like just even line skating, T-pushes, pivoting, T-push, a lot of crease skating. Basically whatever I felt like that morning, or if I saw something cool on Instagram the night before on goalie stuff. Basically, it was just time to kill. They didn't really charge me for the ice. I just slept there. I knew the goalie coach. I'd just go out, skate by myself, and whatever I found interesting, I'd bring my speaker out there, rip around for a bit, maybe shoot some pucks. It was good.
Get the tunes going, get everything feeling good, and just work on skating. Like that's all there is to getting better at skating. Just whatever makes you comfortable and makes you actually want to do skating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like as well as like skating, obviously, like you have to learn like your depth. So like what did you have to do to learn that depth? Like obviously like you have to fail to succeed, and just like you fail from like getting too far out and then getting beat far side. Like what did you do to like find that balance between not being too over challenging or just that enough where you can get by?
I think depth has a lot to do with knowing the play. I feel like I tend to challenge a lot if it's only one shooter, stuff like that. It's obviously knowing if there's a backdoor threat or not. That's like when I have a lot of depth, it's when I know what's going to happen. I know he's going to take a shot. Then I kind of not charge out. I have to stop charging out. That's another thing. I got to stop doing that. Sometimes I get too aggressive. And I think depth has a lot to do with the options that are there. Do you want to be high enough where you can take the shot? Because obviously the last thing you want to do is let the shot in. Yeah. But you got to be low enough for, okay, that backdoor guy's there. Can I get there in time on my feet? Be square. It's like a lot of it has to do with options, Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. And just knowing your position as well and like the play, like you said, like
Yeah.
that's what's going to get you to be successful is like just reading the play right and just being able to get there in time.
And that just comes from getting a lot of reps,
Exactly.
repetition, and then you figure out what you can, what you can't do. And obviously depth, another big one was Justin Peters and Andy Chiodo, two of my goal coaches, were big on video and angles. So getting the camera out, seeing from behind the puck and seeing, okay, at this depth, unless I give him a hole, I should stop everything. So I think video is big for knowing what you cover from where, from the angle of the puck. Like you just have a player lined up on the puck too, you put the camera behind, and then you go and watch after that, and you're like, okay, I am way too far out because both of my feet are outside the posts, and he's clearly not going to score, and I'm wasting my time.
Yeah, exactly. So along with depth and all that, like you said, tracking, it's like, what were some of the things that you do to help your tracking get better?
Like obviously, like tracking and reading the play. Well, reading the play is just watching hockey.
Yeah,
It's getting to know what the options are. Pre-scout, once you get to the level of high enough, OHL, you actually pay attention to the meetings. You talk to your video coaches, like, okay, what does Buddy here like to do? You know what I mean? You kind of get to know the players, where they like to shoot. That all has to do with reading the play and then tracking. A couple good drills, but it's a lot of just getting the warm-up sets in, just in and out. Make sure you bring your nose to the puck. That's a lot of just having a good warm-up, right? Off ice, on ice, and getting into a routine. I feel like for me, that's at least what helped me a lot.
Yeah, just watching the puck all the way into your gloves and then watching it like wherever it bounces off the blocker into your glove. Just watch it all the way through.
Exactly. That was big for me. Just tracking was mainly getting my warm-up reps. Not a big ball guy. Like throwing the balls, juggling. Can't juggle. Not my thing.
Yeah,
Never
I can't
will be.
either.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just suck at it. I've tried to learn so many times, but it's like whatever I do, I can't juggle. But I always say, is there ever 3 pucks in a game? No. Why am I juggling 3 balls?
Focus on one puck.
See, but I can do it if you give me one ball. I can throw it against the wall and catch it and then throw it. Yeah, I can do that perfectly, man. I do that sometimes.
Because that's what you do in the game. You just watch one object.
Or often I just walk around with the lacrosse ball, just bounce it the whole time when I'm walking around. Kind of, it's not really like warming up, but it's like, at least I'm watching it the whole time. Right? I feel like it's just a motion of their hands, but are they really watching everything? I don't know. It's not for me. I struggle with it.
Yeah, it's not for everyone. I've tried with 2, and it's like I get it, and then I stop like after like 2 or 3, and then it's like it's just not worth it at that point. But I've tried to learn it, but I can't.
I'm not saying it's not for everyone, but for me, it's something I never mastered, and I don't think I ever will.
Yeah, absolutely. So before we get into your junior career a little bit here, you obviously are going to the ECHL with the South Carolina Stingrays. So like, what are some of your expectations going into this year and like getting that opportunity and that refresh button?
Well, obviously, I want to prove that I can play pro hockey, right? I don't want to bust this year, right? It's my first pro season. I'll get some games in, and I want to play well. I don't want to be a guy who, guys get traded left, right, and center on the coast. I want to be able to stay on one team. I'll be like, okay, this guy's our guy. He can play well. He can stay here. And obviously, from the East Coast, I think everyone wants to sign an American League contract. Not saying that I might do it, but that's the goal, right? You always want to set expectations, and I just want to get into the groove of playing games again, getting some games in, playing well, seeing how I can play, and taking the step to the higher level. These are men, they're old. I've only ever really played against kids in games. So the OHL is. So just want to get that first pro season under my belt and kind of see where it goes from there. It's kind of all, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta work your way up. And just it's not everything's gonna be handed to you. You just gotta work your way up and just continue to grind when it gets hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. So like I want to move into your junior career a little bit here. So like you played in the OHL for 3 years with the Iowa 67s, and like throughout your career in the OHL, you started off as a third string, like you said, and then you worked your way up. So like what were those years of junior hockey like, and just working your way up from third string to being a starter?
Oh, the first year was brutal. as a third string, I'm like, oh, I hate this. I should have went college. I loved the gunnery. I loved my one season of the gunnery. It was like so much fun, and hockey was good. And it was so hard to leave that school. I mean, when I signed my OHL contract when I was leaving, I was devastated. It was the hardest thing to tell my coach because obviously prep school, everyone expects you to stay there until you're a senior. It's not really a thing to leave early. And I was just a junior. I was a one and done, didn't even repeat, went in for 1 year and left. And then it was tough to say bye to all my buddies. And obviously, yeah, but that first year was tough because I'm like, I should have stayed at the gunnery. I should have went to school. Like, and this was a bad decision. And I thought their plan was going to cut me. And then I had a bad season. I'm like, that whole summer going to my second year, I'm like, why did I go to the OHL? You know, I'm probably going to get cut. They wouldn't order me gear. There was trade talks about us trading for a goalie. We drafted a guy in the second round. So everything was not going my way that year. I was positive I was getting cut going to my second season. And obviously, exhibition games went great. As soon as the season started, I got super nervous. And my first couple games got lit up, yanked. No, I played good in my first one. Second one got yanked. Third one, brutal. Then my coach talked to me and said, hey, like, why are you trying to act like a guy who's dialed? You're not a goalie. Just have fun. I don't care. Like, I know that's the way you play. Like, chill out. And best coach I've had in my life. Andre touring, he did the World Juniors for Canada. He's with Arizona now, Coyotes. So he's awesome. And he's basically the reason for my success there. I mean, he found a way to calm me down when I was super nervous to make sure I was dialed in. And I kind of owe a lot to him.
Yeah, for sure. So, sometimes when things aren't going your way, like just going back to like your youth hockey days and just like doing it while you're playing, asking yourself why you play hockey, and it's because you had fun. Like just going back to the like the OG days and just thinking, yeah, like hockey's so much fun, and just thinking just to go out there, have fun, just see what you can do. And most times that's your best performances, when you're just having fun and just doing anything you can to just not think and just have fun.
Yeah, exactly. And he kind of brought that back to me because he knew I played like that. I was really good in practice. I had fun. I was sick in practice. But then as soon as the game would show up, like first couple games, I was really throwing up before. Like I was so nervous. Cause I just felt like there was so much pressure. It's the OHL. It's all, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then he just said, just act like yourself. He says, don't stress out. Like you're good. And then I went on like a 13-game winning streak, won goalie of the month right after he had that speech with me. And he was basically the reason why I turned around. And then I found my groove. And yeah, I kind of owe a lot to him.
Yeah, just don't overdo yourself. Just go out there, be yourself, have fun, just enjoy the game. Because like when you're nervous and all that, and like you were, like it's not fun, and you're just overthinking everything.
Like I was just trying to do like all these things where I should be goalie, you know, put my headphones on. There's a difference between like, I'm not saying I wasn't getting prepared. Like I still did a good warm up, you know, got dialed in, take my stick, go chilled in the rink, like. But I wouldn't be quiet, be zoned. I was still like good preparation, but I was just being myself before, and it kind of worked out.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing, is doing whatever makes you feel comfortable and just being able to like just be prepared, even if it's not like the serious guy. You're just letting loose and having fun in the locker room.
Exactly.
So then throughout like that second year into that third year, you made a huge impact in Ottawa, where you got that experience from going from a third string to playing 42, 43 games, something like that in those next two seasons. Yeah, 45 games, where you went 34, 5-4, and then 43 going 32, 9-1. So like, how much fun did you have during those 2 years when you actually like got yourself figured out, and like you had that speech with your coach, and it's just everything's becoming more simple than it was?
Oh, it's so much fun. Just winning. Winning is so much fun. I had never really struggled that much. I'd always been a top goalie. then the third year, and then it was fun being a top goalie again, you know, like looking at the goalie stats and like being up there in the top like 3 or 4 for everything. Like, okay, this is sick. Like, and looking at the names you're competing with, like Luukkonen, DiPietro, and all those guys, like, this is so cool. Especially me being like, my dad doesn't know how to skate. My mom doesn't know how to skate. You know, we're not like a hockey family, right?
Yeah.
They never really watched hockey, and it's like, you hear of all these names and it's like, okay, like it's cool being able to play against all these guys. And like, at the end of the day, like you watch TV, you watch NHL games, and it's like, I played against those guys like 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for me, I still find it cool, the fact that I'm even playing hockey right now. I never saw it as a career for so long. Like, literally, I didn't know what the OHL draft was until like it was my draft year. I'm like, okay, like I didn't even know what it was. So I think for me, it's just every time I get like a little step higher, I'm like, this is kind of cool. Like the first time I went to an NHL camp and they paid for a flight for me to go, I'm like, this is ridiculous. What's going on? I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Yeah,
you just realize everything that like you put into the game of hockey, and then you become successful, and you just keep moving up the levels and just getting more and more opportunities wherever you go.
Exactly. And that's what I realized. I said, like, at the end of the day, whenever I start thinking of hockey as like a career, I'm like, I gotta go do this. Like, I suck. But like when I go out there, I'm like, this is a game. Like, I'm playing a game. Like, this is so much fun. I do well, right? I just think whenever I overthink things or stress myself out, not good. And whenever I'm like, hey, if I can get a step further, that's cool. Like the fact that I got my schooling paid for because of hockey, cool. The fact that all these things, the fact that I know that many people because of hockey, like I'm just happy where it's taking me so far, and anything else is just bonus. It's kind of a joke, honestly, the fact that I'm playing a sport. I always think about that. My dad always says this. It's unbelievable.
You're playing the best sport in the world for a job. Like there's nothing better than that.
Exactly. That's what I mean. I find it absolutely insane.
Yeah, absolutely. So like throughout like your second and third year, you and your goalie partner won the lowest goals against average awards. Like what was it about playing in front of a good team in defense to help you guys capture that award, and like have you and your goalie partner split that award?
It was I can't speak enough about my team in Ottawa. Like the guys that we had, like Kevin Ball, NHL games, Nikita is playing in the exhibition games now. Graham Clark, Jack Quinn, Marco Rossi, even our forwards would come back. Our systems, coaching staff, video, they treated us like an NHL team program in Ottawa. We were the first OHL team to switch our program to practice in the morning, then go to school after just to make it dialed in, like more like the NHL. And now a bunch of teams are doing that. It's because our coach had coached in the NHL. He literally brought an NHL program to the OHL and became first 2 years in a row. There's a reason why, right? We hadn't the team and our staff, goalie coach. I don't know. I got so lucky. My first year on that team was when that staff came out. And then when I was out, they all got jobs to go to Arizona, basically. They all got NHL jobs. So I always think about that, how just lucky I was to be there for those years when we had a disgusting team with such big name players and an amazing staff. Like, to be a goalie, I'd be lucky, and I got the jackpot being there at that time.
Yeah, that's absolutely sick. And like you said earlier, you get to be like, hey, I know those guys in the show, and then when you make it to the show, I'll be like, hey, I know that guy, and he was on the podcast, and he's a sick guy.
I don't know about that, man. I don't know. When you see me delivering your food on Uber Eats, I'll be like, hey, I know that guy.
Yeah, not a big deal. But even if you're in the A, like I'll be like, hey, I know that guy, and it'll be something cool.
All my friends and family tuned in for my one game. It's pretty cool.
I bet your phone was blowing up after that game.
Yeah, I know, and I get so pissed off if I lose, so I don't want to. It's the worst when you lose, but everyone's still congratulating. Yeah. It's like, oh, do I?
Congrats on losing.
Yeah,
but you played your first pro game.
Yeah, I got a star, so it wasn't bad. They were congratulating me on my star and like my good game. But I'm like, guys, I'm still pissed right now. I don't want to talk.
Yeah, I feel that. Anytime you lose, it's not a fun
Yeah,
time. But I don't usually say I lose games. Like I learn from those games, because you could learn a ton from the games you lose, and like just from the goals that went in, like how you could stop it. Like you always have like those memories, like where you could be like, you could tell exactly how the play went and how it went in, and you're like, oh, I could do this differently to get over faster or something like that. Like maybe like look around the screen more, just stuff like that. And just
it's a great
it's amazing how we could just like
idea.
see the moments happen, like even if it's like a month or two past the game.
That's a great attitude. I know my coaches knew I'd be so pissed if we ever lost the game, except they knew I had a 24-hour rule. So I'd be good after 24 hours or like the next morning. So video, if we lost the game, I don't want to hear it that night.
Yeah.
Like on my goals. But the next morning I go in, I'd be okay. I wouldn't be completely okay, but I'd be ready to talk. And then once I got another win, then we were good.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a solid like 12-hour rule. Like I'm livid, not talking to anyone. Like I could lose a game 1-0. And I play like a solid game, and I'm still not talking to anyone. I'm just pissed because I got like the attitude like every puck is stoppable kind of thing. Like it could be, but like
Yeah.
if you do everything correctly, not a puck should go in. It's kind of a bad attitude, right? It's kind of good or bad. I don't know how to take it. But yeah, like I'm the kind of guy that's like pissed off after a loss, but I come back the next morning fine.
Yeah, just that 24-hour gap where you could go back on the game, and then 24 hours hits and you're on to the next one. And the wins always bring
I
happy
think
thoughts
24
into you.
hours. I think 24 hours is wrong because often you have games like in the next 24 hours. It's more like you go to bed the next morning kind of thing, like that.
Yeah, and then you wake up and then you're good to go.
You try to forget about it. Exactly. It's more like a that night kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So like, what was it like making a name for yourself throughout those years in juniors, and especially that last year, and then going into, and then finally being able to get that pro opportunity like we've been talking about?
Yeah, it was cool. Even playing the Canada Russia series, like I have my framed photo and I have my jersey. And like I look at the roster on that team, and I did pretty good. I think I let in 1 goal and like 15 or 16 shots, and like it was cool. You know, even if you look at the names of the Russian players and to be on that OHL All-Star team, like I thought it was the coolest thing, and to be one of the guys considered for that World Junior team. Like I know my coach was a coach that year, and he said like I was right there. He says like I was one of the top guys for that. And I wasn't even drafted. I wasn't even a big name really. I was just like this small kid out of the OHL. And it was a cool experience, you know, when you see those names. And I don't know, it's still find it mind blowing. I think I just got lucky at the right time to be on a good team with a good staff. Well,
Yeah,
luck as a goalie.
that's still unreal about the opportunities you get from playing the game of hockey. Like it's incredible, and like you just look back and you're like, wow, like all these opportunities are there, and like it's just it's a whirlwind.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's wild.
Yeah, it is. So like, what were some of your favorite OHL moments?
I think winning my 1 game in the playoffs there, although I lost the next 4, so it kind of ruins the memory. But that 1 game was insane. I got first star. The crowd was chanting my name. It was one of the best games of my life. It was
Shouting MVP, MVP.
It was surreal. It was like the coolest experience of my life. Like no doubt about it. All the Russia Canada game, that was insane. Full packed crowd playing against Team Russia, like the World Juniors, and the jersey match with my pads. So I made it sick.
That's unreal.
Yeah, and then obviously NHL camp. It's so cool. When I went to Canes camp, thought that was crazy, and just like all those little opportunities you get here and there, and being on a winning team. I mean, winning day in day out with the 6-7s, like going on 19-game winning streak, and then we lose 1 game, and we go on another 16-game winning streak. Like being on a team like that is something I don't think I'll ever forget. The guys, and there's no problems in the room. Everyone loves each other when you're winning, right? It's easy to have a good team, have a good environment. It's makes such a difference, and just being with that group was probably one of the best experiences of my life.
Yeah, those are some unreal moments. And like you never forget those moments, even if you do lose the next 4 games, like, but you just think about that one win, and then even though you did lose those 4 games, like you just got that win. It's a memorable one, so it sticks out to you.
Yeah, it was a cool experience. Like the planes are cool too, flying.
Oh yeah, you always gotta love the flights.
Every time you don't have to buy a plane ticket and you're on a flight, I think that's so cool. I don't know why. I think that blows my mind. Like for Canada Russia series, we flew. Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, that's unreal, and just living the big league life, I guess.
I know, right? Who would have thought it?
Yeah, exactly. But going on to your prep hockey days a little bit here. So like you went into prep hockey at the Gunnery, and like we've talked about it the entire episode. Like it was one of your best moments, and like you love being at the Gunnery, and you didn't want to leave after that first year in the OHL, and like you left all your friends and everything. But like, so like what was that whole like experience of playing prep hockey and like using that year as like a development year to get better and go into the OHL, at least feeling a little bit better than you were the years before?
Oh, well, I could have played junior A that year, except I would have been backing up like a Division I commit goalie. So I'm like, I want to go around and play games. And
yeah,
the Gunnery gave me a good offer, and I didn't even know what prep school hockey was. I didn't know if it was good or bad. I wasn't sure if I was showing up like Rec B hockey at the time or if it was good hockey. Like I was kind of, not gonna lie, I was worried showing up there. So, but it was sick. Living in dorms, I was living away from home with the boys. We had a bunch of hockey players in the same hallway. Yeah, obviously the memo of my story is I loved everything. Like literally loved everything. No, but I think the main thing I learned over there was, you know how college hockey works. Same with prep school. It's Elite Eight. You got to be Elite Eight. We missed out on RPI. Like I think if we would have had 1 or 2 goals for, or like lost to tie or like something stupid. Like it was like the most ridiculous amount. We would have made the Elite Eight tournament out of 60 teams.
Yeah.
And I think that's where I got my attitude, or like my 12-hour rule, because I realized there how devastated guys were after a loss. It's the way college hockey is, right? If I'm not mistaken, college hockey, prep school. Like, it's like you might have honestly just thrown your season away there kind of thing, like in one game.
Yeah.
And I love that I brought that to my game in the OHL. Because a lot of the guys in the OHL, I'm like, that's pro league. It's kind of like a pro league, 68 game schedule. You lose a game, who cares? You have 67 more. Like, you're fine. Chill out. Guys don't really care if you win or lose. It's not a big deal. Obviously, if you get in a slump, guys get pissed off like 5 games in a row. But one game here or there, guys don't really care. And I think I brought that to the OHL. Kind of like our team really had that attitude where it's like you shouldn't lose games. Like you should be devastated after a loss. And it's kind of how the 6-7s were. And I think I learned a lot of that from the Gunnery. It was tough to lose games there, but like so much more fun when you win, because it's like you won a championship. Well, in the OHL, it's just like you win, we gotta be at a hotel in like 2 hours, pack up your bag, let's go. Like no one cares. It's all like quick,
nonstop.
You gotta go. Yeah, exactly. While prep school wasn't like that. It's like, okay, victories are a lot sweeter, losses are a lot tougher. But
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, and you're living in the dorms with your buddies, with your teammates. Like those are some of the best memories you can make outside of hockey. Like just those times where you're like goofing off at like 2 a.m. during those days.
Exactly. And you're ordering food from like the one pizza place or the one Chinese place. All the boys are just I know. That was insane. And then same thing with the hotels, when you're in hotels in the OHL, because Ottawa too, we're like closest team is 2.5, and then everything else is like a 5-hour drive. We're out east. All the Torontons don't really stay in hotels, but us, it was almost every road trip was a hotel. We couldn't, unless it was Kingston or Peterborough, day trip, but rarely. Like if we went to Peterborough or Oshawa, often we'd leave in the morning. They'd rent a hotel for 3 hours for the guys so we could take a nap, and then we go to the game. at night. Like it was insane. They treated us so well. So hotels with the boys, all 5 days road trips, insane, so much fun. Dorm rooms in prep school, so much fun. And then playing different sports. Like I still played tennis because in my spring term, I convinced like a bunch of the hockey guys to play tennis. We were playing JV tennis. It was such a joke. We were having a good time. It was like literally just scrimmages for practices every day. It was yeah, I'm still in touch with all the guys. I mean, some of my best friends to this day.
Yeah, that's unreal, and you just bring everyone together when you're doing that, and like just getting all the boys to go out for tennis, and you're just playing JV tennis. Like those must have been unreal times, and those are the memories that you guys probably talk about all the time.
Oh yeah, we always talk about it. It was so stupid. We were just a bunch of hockey guys playing tennis, can barely hit the ball. It's embarrassing. All honesty, it was hilarious though. I mean, the jokes that we had, all the memories that I have, like on my phone and all that. It's like, oh my god, can't believe I did that stupid stuff. And I actually signed my OHL contract at the school library because they faxed it over to me. So I had to print it in the school library. All my teammates are around me, not even like cheering me because they're pissed I'm not coming back. Like they're booing me in the video. It's just an absolute joke. To signing an OHL contract. You know how all those prep school put like the college commit photos up?
Yeah.
Nah, not for an OHL contract. They're pissed.
You don't put that Instagram post up for, oh, I signed an OHL deal.
No, I didn't. Because I signed like right after playoffs, except rookie camp is like 3 months later, and I can't announce it until they announce it.
Yeah.
I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. So I'm like literally like they announced it 4 months after I signed. I kind of told like my close buddies and my family, but at that point I was so over it. Like my gear was ordered. I'm like I don't want to put it up anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
it's already way in the past.
Yeah, and I signed with a different GM, right after me. He kind of got let go. It's probably like, why the hell did you sign this 12th round goalie? You're gone, but
yeah, that's insane. Like just everything around that, like it's just crazy.
Yeah, it was wild.
Yeah, exactly. So Cedric, I have a few more questions for you before we wrap things up here. So do you have any tips for goaltenders looking to get to that next level?
It's a generic one, but I say it all the time. Be the first one on, last one off. I mean, today, last one off, but everyone got on at the same time, except it was after meeting. I drank a lot of water. I had to go for a pee right after meeting. So I was like middle of the pack. But normally it's always first one on, last one off. I mean, make a good impression. You never know like who you're going to see. You never know who's at the rink. Don't have a bad day.
Yeah.
I know it's kind of hard to say, but always go hard because you never know who's watching. All you need is one person to like you. Even one scout to like me. I was 12th round pick, barely talked to any other OHL teams, but one scout at the 6-7s like me. That's all I needed. And then I did sick at camp, and all you need is one person like you. And then last one is hockey world is smaller than you think.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone. You got one bad reputation. Everyone knows it. A good reputation. Everyone knows it too. It's a lot smaller than you think. News flies fast, and it could be a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah, exactly. You stole the words right out of my mouth. I was gonna say the hockey world's super small, and like just you gotta make a good impression. Like always be nice, have that good character, and just treat everyone with respect and like how you'd want to be treated.
You might think this one person's not important, but for all you know, all he knows is he knows someone who knows someone who knows. It's like whoever you talk to, you gotta be on top of your game.
Yeah, exactly. You just have that one guy give you an opportunity, and it's right there, and then you make a good impression there, and like everyone else knows about you, and you're like looking around all over the place for teams to play on because you got guys contacting you or knows the guy. Like it's a small world.
They all contact your old coaches. Everyone, for me, they called old teammates. All the teams I was looking at on the coast, American, they all call your old teammates. I'll do this. Like, okay. Coach comes back, he's like, hey, I talked to like a bunch of guys about you. Looks good. We're ready to offer you a contract. It's like, okay, cool. I kind of want to ask, who'd you talk to?
Yeah, that's sick though. And just the good impressions, like just make those good impressions and you'll be fine.
You have no idea how much other people rely on even ex-teammates, players. You don't want to be the cancer in the room because people know that.
Yeah, exactly. Those are some great tips. So my next question is like, what are some pros and cons of practice? Like a con could be like getting dinged in the head with a puck, which that's obviously a con, and just pros making like that desperation save in practice that no one expects you to get.
Pros, I love shootouts. It's my go-to in practice. I could do them for days. Big shootout guy. I love having
shootout guy.
Practice, yeah. Shootout, rebound game. That's what I love with practice. And cons. Oh, when your skates are sharpened badly. Doesn't tick me off, but like it's like, come on. Today I had to switch my blades halfway through. Wasn't a big fan of them. So I love because I love my skates sharp, like really sharp. I'm like, it's a con. Like when your gear doesn't new gear. I don't like new gear, breaking it in. Like I love the look of it, but I hate big con.
I love getting new gear, but the breaking in process is always so hard.
I am terrible at breaking in new stuff.
Yeah, it took me a while to break in my new gloves like half a year ago, and like it took me like 2 months to actually finally get used to them. Like it takes a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, those are some great pros and cons though. But my final question is, what's your favorite pump up song? Like you're trying to get a little lift in pregame warm ups, listening to the boys in the locker room, like the DJ. Like what are you putting on?
Let me take a look at my pregame playlist here on Apple Music.
Oh yeah, let's go.
I don't have a lot. I got like 19 songs.
Yeah, that's not. He's just said not a lot. 19 songs. That's like 2 hours worth of songs.
No, it's not. There's no but like a lot of playlists are like a lot. I got 1, 2, 3. I got like all the old classics from when I used to be DJ, like when I was really young. What do I got in here? Do you want the newer ones or the older ones? It's such a weird mix. I got like my pregame playlist is so weird. I got like Panic at the Disco, like High Hopes, Hey Look Mom, Made It. And I got like The Bravest. I got Dean Brody, Beautiful Freak Show, Bush Party, Church Bells, Carrie Underwood, Rockstar, Nickelback, Hell Yeah, Blue Mountain State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are sick.
3 Foot Tall. When you're alone, life can be a little tough. It makes you feel like we're off. Then obviously the old classics like Macklemore and Ryan Lewis.
Yeah. You got a little bit of everything there.
Yeah, it's such a weird playlist. I got like country, and it's like the weirdest mix, but it's been the same songs all the time. And like every pregame, like it's a 2-hour bus drive, it's just the same songs over and over. I'm like, dials me in.
Yeah, that's unreal.
I might add like 2 or 3 songs a year, but it's been the same one for like 7 years, and I don't know how I'm not bored of it. But yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. Like I'm a huge country guy. Like, but before I get on the ice, like it's country, but like I could listen to anything that has a good tune, a good bop to it. And country is like the main thing.
I'm a big I got to be happy going to the game.
Yeah.
Like I be like, so whenever in the room, like they play like, it might sound so soft, but like, not mean, but like like hardcore stuff where it's like all about shooting people and shit like that. I was like, oh, sorry, I swore.
Go for it.
No, but it's all like negative attitudes. I'd go in the trainer's room and I'd put the speaker on in there just by myself. And I put like a country song, like a happy song, like Cruise by Florida Georgia Line, or just like, something to get me going, right? And then plus they always played my warm-up songs too, because we kind of got to pick our warm-up songs in Ottawa for like on the ice warm-up. They always played mine. The 2 that I had were Church Bells and Bush Party. I don't know if you know Bush Party by Dean Brody.
I do not know that one.
You guys Google it after this one.
I'll definitely have to Google it after this.
You gotta know Church Bells though.
Yeah, 100%.
Hear those church bells.
Yeah, that's a fantastic song. And even Cruise, like that from Florida Georgia Line, like that's a bop as well.
Yeah, I love those songs. Just anything country before. Yeah, I gotta. Awesome. I had to add that one because I knew it was on my pregame, but on my Spotify one, not my Apple Music.
Yeah, we got Cedric adding songs on the fly on the episode. Like that's
Before I
insane.
forget.
That's crazy.
Before I forget. I know, right? Multitasking.
Yeah, exactly. But Cedric, this has been so much fun. Thank you so much for coming on the show. I really appreciate your time. I want to wish you the best of luck next season going into South Carolina. And I look forward to following your career the rest of the way.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate you too. Good luck this year.
Yeah, thank you.